Now, depending on your point of view, I think there's been a bit of a resurgence in RTS of late. There's been a number of years where we haven't seen any major titles come out, and then all of a sudden we're getting big things like Age of Empires 4, and then we've got a bunch of upcoming stuff as well, and today I want to go through a few of those. Okay, I'm not going to cover every RTS game that's coming out because that would be insanely ridiculous, and I'd be spending 16 hours making a video on it. However, let's have a look at some of the ones that have stood out to me, and in particular ones that have been shown off recently at Gamescom and PAX. So the first one that comes to mind is Tempest Rising. This is very much a CNC style game, a CNC clone, if you will, to some extent. Of course, the devs would say it's a different game, but we all know what they've aimed for. They've admitted it themselves in not so many words that they are basing it off those old style of CNC games. It is very reminiscent of a mixture of the original CNC and probably Red Alert 2 as the most recent variation, with a little bit of other stuff mixed in, but it's looking really good. And as you can see from some of the gameplay footage that I've stolen from their official page, I hope they don't mind. Because we don't have access to this yet, we could have played it if we were at Gamescom, but of course most of us wouldn't be there. However, hopefully we'll be getting some kind of demo or testing phase in the near future where everyone will get to have a little play around with it, because at the moment it is looking very good and I am very excited for it. Beyond that, I'm kind of moving on to the 3, so first up is Homeworld 3, another game I am really looking forward to. I was a really big fan of Homeworld 2, more so than Homeworld 1, and various mods that came out for Homeworld 2, and you know, I've even played that recently, but you know, it's showing its age, it has its problems, the AI is bad. Even with mods installed, it just struggles even more, to be honest. The game is great, it was brilliant in its era, but we need an updated version. And some of the stuff they showed off in this trailer with the big superstructures in space and using the tunnels and things within that as cover and going around behind the enemy, all of that looks fantastic. So if that's going to be on plenty of the maps, preferably with a map editor, then that's going to be great. And again, it's something I'm really looking forward to. So I have my fingers crossed. Let's hop on straight away and go for Company of Heroes 3, the other number 3 I'm talking about. Company of Heroes 3 is shaping up to be a very fun game. I really enjoyed the Italian campaign alpha that they let us play before. I played some of the other alphas slash betas that they've released. I missed the last one, unfortunately, because I was busy with other stuff, but I'm looking forward to playing some of the British forces. It was nice to see those added as the North African side. Obviously, they're not having a grand campaign for that, but it will have its own mission set against the German faction that's over there as well. So that again is shaping up to be something really fun, and it does look like Relic have learnt from their past mistakes and are working hard to make a really good game. I have my fingers crossed for that one as well. Next up is a game I am massively excited for, and we're dropping back to the number 2 for this one, and that is Men of War 2. Now, I don't know if anyone will have played the original Soldiers Heroes World War II or Men of War that came after that. You know, there have been various variations of the same title as it's gone on. You know, there was Assault Squad, etc, etc. I think they even did a Vietnam one. I didn't try the Vietnam one, I didn't hear good things, but I really loved playing co-op campaign for Soldiers Heroes World War II and the original Men of War, and I cannot wait to get my hands on Men of War 2. The only thing that's a real shame is we haven't seen a lot of gameplay of this. It's been a lot of pre-scripted videos or gameplay within those videos. No one's actually had hands-on yet, not even the big sort of websites like IGN and stuff. So, question marks on it. I'm very excited for it. I really want to see more. I want to get my hands on it and give it a go. But hopefully, fingers crossed, it's going to be back in that original style where it's, you know, a little bit complex but very accessible for everyone. Very excited for this one because I have some great memories and perhaps rose-tinted glasses on about the previous titles. Now, moving on from that, those are the big titles which sort of in my head are from the big publishers or the big names. Beyond that, we have several titles which I would consider ones to watch. So the first of those is The Great War Western Front by Petroglyph. Now, I have mixed feelings about the idea of a World War I trench game. I'm very curious to see how they make trench warfare fun. Now, I think that, you know, big battles across open fields will work quite well with the silly old tanks and things. However, I'm just not convinced that firing from trench to trench is going to be a very entertaining RTS game. Now, bearing in mind that this is going to be, I think, a mix of the grand strategy with the RTS, so it's going to be a bit like Total War where you have the grand map and then you go in to have battles beyond that. Lots of question marks around it, though. Part of me is extremely disappointed because I was expecting Petroglyph to be working on another CNC game, so it is a shame, but it is what it is. Hopefully they will produce something really enjoyable and fun. Next up on my list of ones to watch is most certainly Broken Arrow. It's shaping up to be a really good game by the looks of it, with a lot of options that were missing from Wargame, for example, that I'm really pleased to see, such as options for artillery, like which shells to use, the pattern of artillery fire, etc, etc, and it'll be nice to see if that is extended to other things such as bombers. Do you get the choice of how they're going to drop their bombs? Can you just drop a single bomb? Can you, drop their entire payload on one target, etc, etc? So hopefully we'll get to see more of that. I understand there has been an internal beta for members of their Patreon that have been there for a certain amount of time. However, we haven't seen anything from that. It's obviously been under heavy NDA. So question mark on when we'll get to see a bit more of that. They can be a little bit quiet at times, more so than they were in the past, but I'm sure they've got their share of development issues as time goes on. Next up is most certainly Sanctuary. This is a title I'm really looking forward to and very excited about. I was a huge fan of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance, and in turn Forged Alliance Forever. So anything that is trying to recreate that, but improve it and modernize it, is good in my book. Very excited for the future of Sanctuary. The team are very passionate about the game they're making. Obviously, you've seen how Chris Taylor has also responded to that. And for those of you who don't know who Chris Taylor is, he's one of the granddaddies of this type of game. So for him to give the thumbs up, you know they must be doing something right. This will be going into Kickstarter early next year, most likely at this time of speaking, and that means that hopefully at that time they will also have a demo for people to be able to play and give feedback. And rest assured that it's a good thing that Kickstarter has been put back. It means that private investors are interested in what these guys are showing off and what they have behind the scenes that we probably haven't seen yet. But as I say, Sanctuary, one to watch. Next up, I want to throw WARNO in here. Now, it doesn't feel right to put it in an already released video. It doesn't feel right to put it in upcoming necessarily because it's already here. So I'm going to put it in one to watch as well. Now, WARNO is shaping up to be a really good game. It still has bugs that need to be ironed out. It still has a few remaining balance issues. All of this is being worked on by Eugen Systems. They're doing a really good job. They are taking feedback. They are listening to the community, which is really nice to see, because I think there was a lot of concern initially that they maybe weren't going to, but I have genuinely seen them take the feedback, stuff that I've been seeing in my videos, stuff that I've been relaying to their team through the Strike team, who are basically the community testers, and also the general community at large that have been giving them feedback. They are taking it all on board and they are implementing it in the game, which is really good to see. The most recent thing being the complete artillery overhaul for Tube Arty. Hopefully we're going to see some adjustments to the Rocket Arty as well, and then beyond that, hopefully we're going to see some adjustments to Recon to make this game a little bit more accessible for new players who maybe would rely on the Recon rather than be, knowing exactly where to position their forces and exactly where the enemy will be positioning theirs. But lots of things still to come for WARNO, including the big main campaigns, which I am also looking forward to, because the campaigns I understand, which I haven't played yet, in SD2, which were along the same lines, were a lot of fun, and I really do need to get around to playing those. Now at the end here, I'm going to stick on an honourable mention. because it's a game that sadly I didn't really enjoy, but I think that some people would. Now, this is Crossfire Legion. It's a game which, for me, was just a bit too much of a mishmash of lots of other titles. It felt like it was trying to be CNC and StarCraft and something else, and all sort of mushed in together, and it wasn't doing it for me. But I feel like there's going to be people who will really enjoy this game. It is a sort of typical RTS from sort of the era of StarCraft and CNC, but with a few twists and things thrown in there. It wasn't a bad game, it just wasn't doing it for me, and that's why it's getting an honourable mention, because it's probably something you might want to check out yourself. It's currently in early access on Steam, but I'll leave that one down to you. It's not one I'm going to rave and shout about. Now, I've kept this list short and sweet. There's 9 games there for you to have a think about. Have I missed something that you are really looking forward to in the RTS genre? If so, let me know down in the comments. I'm always interested to look at other games. Equally, let me know what you think about the titles that have been mentioned here. Is there any of them that you are equally very excited to see? That's all for now, folks. Thanks very much for watching. Please do like, share and subscribe, and I will see you soon for some more gaming.